you know what I mean? You guys are all wonderful human beings. I haven't told you that shit yet, okay? But we got to get serious here for this. The height of the balloon is modeled by h of x equals x cubed minus 2x squared plus 7x plus 7. From x is from 0 to 10. What is the speed when the height is 5? When is the speed 5? And when is the acceleration 1? All right, Matt was not here today. So Arden, I'd like you to tell him if h is going to be your height, how would you find the speed and how would you find the acceleration?
Oh, the speed is going to be the first derivative.
Good.
And the acceleration is the second derivative.
Very good. Okay, so if you think of like height like your position, h of x is going to be like your position, which is your height. H prime of x is going to be your speed, and h double prime of x is going to be your acceleration. And if you keep that in mind, that'll help you through all these types of questions. So it says, what is the speed when the height is 5? Sorry, you guys still working? Wait, give me a second. I'll give you guys a minute to start this. I'll give you a minute to start this. Okay. Front door. I don't know anything about that. I'm gonna. Okay, so take a second, start this. Maybe before I get started here, I'll start with A. It says, what is the speed when the height is 5? What do I have to do with that? Yeah, 5 equals that and solve that cubic, okay? I was talking to this to Katie yesterday. Katie, do you remember what I said when we defined the cubic? What did I say I'd probably do for you guys? Do you remember? Yeah, there'd be like a nice number would work out, like x minus 1, x plus 1, x minus 2, x plus 2. So try those. This one is definitely going to be okay. So take a second. I want to get to today's lesson because as I keep saying, today's a humdinger. Can someone get me started with letter A, and that will be the beginner of... Oh, seriously? How do we solve... Oh. What is the speed when the height is 5? What are we actually looking for then? What's the first thing we should do? Yes. Okay, let's find h prime of t. Sounds good to me. Christina, what's h prime of x, please? Yeah.
Oh, that would be 3x squared.
Yeah. Okay. Minus 1. Because right, just the x changes to 1, right? Okay. All right, can I get another person to give me the second derivative? Courtney, go ahead. Second derivative, please.
6x minus 1.
Great. Okay, those we're going to keep in our back pocket because we'll need those for the question for sure. Okay, so it says, what is the speed when the height is 5? What are they actually asking us for then? Christina, go ahead.
5 incorrect?
Yeah, no.
No.
Close, but no. Yeah, go ahead, Charlene. Yeah, which one? Which one? The first one, because this is your height equation, right? So we have to solve this messy thing like we were back in advanced functions. Someone go back to advanced functions, and we will need to do this a lot in the next few units here. Tell me how to solve this first step, please. Bring the 5 over. Scott equals 0 always, okay? So 0 equals x cubed minus 2x squared minus x plus 2. Can I solve this in the cheating way? Yes? Sorry, go ahead.
I thought you plugged it into f prime.
No. Because they want, what's the speed when the height is 5? So we need to find the time when the height is 5. And once you got the time, it's going to be then you sub it into h prime or whatever this answer is, okay? So you got to find that answer. I'm going to cheat like I'm going to pretend that I'm in 11U here again. Do you remember how to factor this in 11U? Amy, go ahead. Oh goodness, no, that's in advanced functions. That will work. Okay, I'm going to do this way though. Factor by grouping is what I'm going to use, okay? This is optional, you don't need to do this, okay? But to factor this one by grouping, you're just going to do 0 equals x squared. If you're not familiar with this method of factoring, that's okay. You can just factor using the P over Q thing. And I saw Arden working away on that. Her and I will get the same answer here. There's no difference. Is this coming back to anybody? Matt, you were in my class at 11. This should come back to you, I hope. Okay, somebody group here for this. What does that turn into? Yeah. Right? 0 equals x squared minus 1 and x minus 2. Okay, I'm not quite done, but I'm getting close. What's my final step? Give me squares. So 0 equals x minus 1, x plus 1, x minus 2. Now, let's say that you didn't, excuse me, you didn't realize how you could factor by grouping, okay, which I already forgot about, which is okay. She did the same thing and found f of 1 and f of negative 1, right, and got it to work out the same, hopefully you still got the same factors that worked out. I'll be kind in this course, and this is what I was trying to say to Katie yesterday. I will try 1 and negative 1, one of them will probably work. There's advanced functions where you have to do like f of 2/3 and all those weird numbers to get it to work out in calculus. I want this to be quick. So the first, like on a cubic or a quartic, try like 1 and negative 1, 2 and negative 2. One of those 4 numbers will work, guaranteed. Okay? All right, good. Okay, so can I get someone who's not raised their hand today? Sorry, Amy and Christina, you're out. What is x going to actually be here right now? You got it? 1 and negative 1. So we're going to have here, this is going to be x equals 1. This is going to be x equal to negative 1. And this is going to be x equal to 2. Okay, this one's going to disappear. Somebody tell me why I'm stroking that out with green ink. Go ahead. Out of my range or domain, or whatever you want to call it, okay? All I want is from 0 to 10. Okay? So what does that mean? Well, it just means here the height goes to 5 twice. Okay, the balloon's going to go something like this, okay? So if the balloon goes up in the air to 5, then drops, then comes back above, that would be like two times that it happens like that, okay? So the question is, how should the speeds work if it's going to hit twice? What will the speeds be in general? Well, I'm hoping somebody's going to say one's going to be a plus, one's going to be a minus, right? You're going to have to go up to get to the 5 and then back down to get beneath it, okay? So it should be work something like that is how it should work, all right? Let's find out to make sure. So it says to find the speed when the height is 5. Again, someone new doesn't raise their hand, so Evan, you're out here right now. How do I actually find the speed now? What do I do? Somebody new. Somebody new, please. Charlene, you're out too, by the way. Good work so far. What do we do now? Go ahead. Yeah, so this is going to be now h prime of 1. And eventually we're also going to find h prime of 2. H prime of 1 is going to be 3 times 1 squared negative 4 times 1 minus 1, which is going to be 3 minus 4 minus 1, which is going to be negative 2. And this one's going to be 3 times 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 1, which is 12 minus 8 minus 1, which is equal to 3. Therefore, when the height is 5, the speed is either negative 2 and then 3. Okay. So basically when time is 0, it's probably falling like this to a negative speed, and it hits time 1, and then it's going to move up again at time 2. Are we sort of making sense what's happening here? It's a cubic, right? So the cubic's going to look something like this, right? That's how a cubic goes. So 0 is probably going to look something like that. Right, so I'm saying there's going to be a height of 5 there, a height of 5 there, and that's the negative time that's outside of that, out of the picture there. Okay, are we feeling sort of okay before I keep going? Yes? Now the wording is what's difficulty on this. Part B says, when is the speed 5? Okay, can someone new that has not raised their hand today, please be brave and tell me how I would solve when the speed is 5. What do you do? Go ahead. Good. Okay, so what I'm going to do for B, sorry if I'm going too quickly here. So we're going to set h prime of x equal to 5. So we're just solving this equation. Okay, can someone tell me? Oh, shoot, that didn't work out the way I wanted to. I can't add. I didn't want to have to use quad formula today, but that's okay. Can somebody tell me how I solve a quadratic? Quadratic formula, good, okay, so I'm going to have to, I was meaning that to end up to be negative 4, sorry, I messed up the numbers in my head. So I have to use quad formula now, okay, I wanted that to be a factorable, it didn't happen, okay. Again, and we should know that the speeds can change here, the speeds are going to go all over the place with this funky balloon. So I'm going to say x is equal to, I'm going to do this fast, so I'm assuming that everyone remembers quadratic formula. times 6 is 72, I hope. Right? Is that right? Okay, so x is equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of 88 over 6. And I'm happy enough with that. You can probably break that down a little, simplify. We'll just, I made up a mistake in the number, but we'll stick with that. Okay. All right, and finally for c, because I want sort of keep flying by, do you want to know what the acceleration is 1? Can somebody tell me how I find the acceleration of 1? Okay, so h double prime is going to equal 1. Okay, so h double prime was, what was it, 6x? Excuse me, 1 equals 6x minus 4, is that right? Yes? So 5 equals 6x, x equals 5/6. Therefore, after 5/6 seconds, the acceleration is 1. Okay, this is a balloon that's flying all over the world and all sorts of neat things are happening. Now, does that logically make sense? If you've done your homework the last 2 nights, Jeff, you will know you have plenty of questions that are like this. You weren't the only person, okay? There are plenty of questions that will be like that on there. You have to read the wording carefully because it's very easy to get screwed up on something like this. The math isn't difficult at all. Okay, right? It's a few derivatives are straightforward here, right? It's just plugging it into, and I'm assuming that's going to be what's happening here with 16, 17. It's just the understanding of which way the question's being asked. You know what's causing it. Okay, are we, most people are sort of good about what just happened, I hope? Okay, that's the wrong page. What page was it? 106? Okay, 106, number 3B. 3B? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right, 3D is a lot easier than it should be here, okay? I apologize for the coughing in your ear, I'm sorry. I was sick before Christmas with bronchitis, so hopefully I'm not getting it again. But I can record videos like this, so I'm recording yes, and then x equals and hack into the video. It's not nice, Jeff, let's hope it doesn't have to happen. Okay, on Monday, hopefully it'll build up by then, and we'll be good. Here we go. 3D says s of t equals negative 2t to the 4 minus t cubed plus 8t squared all over 4t squared. Okay, when I see that question, there's 2 things I want to instantly do. Because I'm a grade 11 teacher, Amy, tell me 2 things I should do here, please. You can. One other thing I want to do before that, because I teach grade 11, I want to say t can't be 0, because I'm mean like that. So I'm going to instantly first say t can't be 0. Secondly, I'm going to divide everything by 4t squared. So I'm going to call that s of t equals negative 1/2 t squared minus 1/4 t plus 2. Is that right? So again, the coefficients, negative 2 divided by 4 is negative 1/2. Negative 1 divided by 4 is negative 1/4. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then I just, you know what I mean, lowered all the variables down. Okay, can somebody tell me s prime of t? Somebody new, please be brave. If you haven't raised your hand today yet, you guys have done such a good job. Rebecca, be brave. Find s prime of t. Go ahead. Okay, so negative 1t, right? Negative 1t, good. Okay, keep going. And that changes to 0. Good. Okay. I think we're almost past on everyone except for Matt. Matt, take the derivative of that, please, if you would. Oh, he's not in the math.
No. Negative 1.
Negative 1.
Here we go.
He's back in the zone. Hopefully that matches up to the back of the book, I hope, right there. The whole trick for that was that big giant fraction is a mess, and they give you a hint at the beginning that said simplify if possible, right? You always should. We're going to get into dividing by fractions today. We'll get into all sort of messiness today. Okay, but as of last night, you like a fraction like that would be frightening. Okay. All right, good. Time to keep moving. 16 CNC, and I'm probably the whole thing is 16. How big is this? Really big. Total distance travels by the object. Sketch. Let's not sketch. Oh, okay. Okay, so it says here, just number 16, it says the position function of an object is modeled by S of t equals 2 t cubed minus 15 t squared plus 36t plus 10. I'm going to just do C and D if I can. It says, when is the object moving in a positive direction? When is the object moving in a negative direction? Okay, let's find out. Let's take our derivatives first. I guess we'll open this back up to anybody here. Can somebody give me the first derivative of that, please? Tyler, first derivative. Go ahead, please.
6t squared
Yeah.
minus 30t plus 36.
Great. Wonderful. Can I get a second volunteer to be brave, please? Art, you haven't volunteered. You're able to skip volunteering. Can you give? I'm sorry, Art. You're a wonderful human being. I'm sorry to bug you about that. You're an excellent math student. Go ahead, Peter, please. Can you give me a second derivative?
12t minus 30.
Right. S double prime of t equals 12t minus 30. And it's probably a good idea for these when they start talking about velocity and acceleration, just to get the derivatives out of the way. We'll have to use them here in a few minutes, okay? So it says C. When is the object moving in a positive direction? For an object to be moving positive, what would have to happen? Oh, goodness. Sorry?
Positive acceleration.
Not quite. What would have to happen for this to be moving in a positive direction? What would you need? Oh, goodness. Good. Okay, let's talk about this equation here, though. If something's moving positive, what does that mean? Thank you. Wonderful. Excellent. Oh my goodness, I almost lost it there for a sec. Right? Okay, right? So if we get the positive value and s prime of t is greater than 0, okay? And then the second part says, when is it moving in a negative direction? What would that mean? Rebecca, save the class, please. What does that mean? If it's moving negatively. Go ahead. Yeah, s prime of t is less than 0. Lovely. Wonderful. Okay, so going back to grade advanced functions again. We have to know, so what we're going to do is figure out how to find when that graph is above and below 0. What's the easiest way to do that? To me, sort of, yeah. Find the roots, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor that, and I'm going to do a rough sketch. In advanced functions, I think you guys did an interval chart. You should do an interval chart for positive and negative. This is a quick parabola. I'm just going to draw a sketch. You can do an interval chart if you want to here. Okay, so I'm just going to do, because s prime of t is a parabola, so I'm going to just solve 0 equals 6t squared minus 30t plus 36. I'm going to do this fast if you don't mind. Do you guys want the interval chart, or do you want the graph? Jeff, you get to choose. Do you want an interval chart or a graph for this one? Oh boy, lovely. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to do my interval chart. I'm going to say t is less than 2, 2 is less than 3, and t is greater than 3. Is this coming back from advanced functions, I hope? It is, I hope. Great. I'm going to put the brackets here. If you hate interval charts, good thing Michael's not here. Because he'd say if you hate interval charts, you're going to hate graphing in this course. And then we're going to do overall. Okay, and I'm going to do test points. Is this how Mr. Kemp and Mr. Van Straten did it like this? Does this look familiar? It does look familiar, yes? Okay. I know you weren't here for this. Does this look familiar for you too? Sorry, Todd. I don't mean to pick on you always. I can't help it. I'm a mean human being. Okay. I'm going to pick my favorite point less than 2, which is going to be 0. I'm going to pick my favorite number between 2 and 3, which is going to be 2.5, and my favorite number bigger than 3, which is going to be 5. Now, this is much more useful for something cubic or quartic or whatever. For something that's quadratic, it's easier to draw the graph and see which part's above 0 and which part's below 0. Okay, but play along because Jeff asked for this, okay? So, if I do 0 minus 2, is 0 minus 2, Jeff, positive or negative? Negative, good. Is 0 minus 3 positive or negative, Jeff? Negative. So if I have two negatives, what does that make it? Positive, because you're multiplying them, right? So when is this above 0? It's moving positively when t is less than 2. That's what I've just shown. Okay, so when t is less than 2, it's moving positively. Is this coming back a little bit from advanced functions? Okay, 2.5 next. My next question is going to be Amy. Amy, what is 2.5 minus 2? Is that positive or negative? Oh, you're wide awake here today. 2.5 minus 3 is positive or negative? Good. Isn't that positive and negative make A? Now, just for clarification for people to make sure they understand what's happening here, these are things that are multiplied, right? So we're just multiplying this and this together, right? And that's going to be the overall result. So it's going to be moving negatively when 2 is less than t is less than 3. Okay? And then finally on the last one, 5. 5 minus 2 is positive. 5 minus 3 is positive. So the overall result is positive. So the speed here is also going to be then t is greater than 3. The reason I don't say greater than or equal to, because it just wants to know when it's greater than 0 or less than 0. Is this coming back from advanced functions? If not, it will come back when it's graph all this stuff, okay? Interval charts are a huge part of this course, unfortunately. That's unfortunate, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say they are a huge part of this course. Some of this stuff is mostly coming back, yes? A little bit? Liam, yes? Did you take it last semester or last year? Did you do it last semester, advanced functions? You did both, okay, so you should have double remembrance of this stuff then. Okay, letter D. Oh, total distance traveled. Okay, because basically, can I leave this for right now? Because what you have to do with the total distance travel, basically the graph is the way to go, right? So you'd say, okay, well, from here to here you calculate this distance, and then from here to here you calculate that distance, and then from here to here you calculate that. I think that's the only way I can think of doing it. But what this point would be is when s prime of t equals 0, right? And this is again, so I think that's, I will promise I will not throw that on your test, okay, for that yet, okay, because I'm going to leave until the next, I don't want to deal much with graphing in this one, okay? I think that's a lot, I think that's the only way it can be done, I think. 17. Oh, well, the height in meters after t seconds is that. Determine the velocity and the acceleration, arrow shot upward. Can I leave this to tomorrow's warm-up? I'll leave 17 till tomorrow's warm-up, so I want to get to today's lessons over. That was you put 17 up there? Okay, so remind me, I'll put PLO. Easy line. Oh, right over here. Okay, good. Raise that 106. So I just want to keep going, because that's similar to our warm-up, right? Like the way we was set up with position and all that stuff. So I'll do that for tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to pause in the video right now, and then we'll get started with chain rule. Ay, 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 20.